The wind howled through the city like a ghost lost in grief. It tore through alleyways and between crumbling buildings, shaking windows, rattling signs, and pushing life indoors. People hurried down sidewalks, faces buried in scarves, boots crunching on patches of black ice. It was a bitter January evening in Chicago. The kind of cold that made your bones ache and your spirit shrink. But Elijah Brooks walked slowly. His back hunched. His steps deliberate. His eyes, though tired, still held a glimmer of something unbroken. Elijah was 54 years old, tall and wiry, with skin like weathered mahogany and hands that told stories of labor, calluses, and resilience. Once, he'd built bridges and homes as a proud construction worker. He'd helped raise steel that kissed the clouds. But after his wife died of cancer and the factory closed in the same cursed year, Elijah lost more than a job, he lost his purpose. Now, he lived on the streets. But not aimlessly. He had routines. He swept sidewalks for scraps of change. Took odd jobs fixing fences. He was known to return lost wallets to their owners, even when he hadn't eaten in days. And at night, he slept under the same broken-down bus stop near 87th and Drexel, wrapped in a patchwork of blankets, old jackets, and memory. That night, Elijah had just finished his usual run behind Roosevelt's grocery, where the manager let him take leftover bread in exchange for keeping the alley clean. He was heading toward his sleeping spot, carrying a plastic bag with 2 crushed loaves and a banana, when he heard it. A sound. Soft. Like a whimper. He paused. In a narrow side alley near the abandoned laundromat, he saw her. A little girl. No older than 7. Knees to her chest. Arms wrapped around herself, shivering violently. Her face was blotched red from cold, her lips were blue. Her coat was little more than a hoodie with torn sleeves. Elijah's heart cracked. He walked over, slowly, kneeling beside her. "Hey, sweetheart," he said gently. "Are you okay?" She flinched. "It's all right," he said, holding out his hands to show he meant no harm. "My name's Elijah. I'm not gonna hurt you." The girl looked up. Her eyes were wide, terrified. "Elijah," she whispered. "Yeah. That's me. What's your name?" "I'm Maya." "You lost, Maya." She nodded. "You alone?" Her eyes filled with tears, but she nodded again. Elijah didn't ask more. He didn't need to. The streets didn't wait for explanations. Without a word, he unbuttoned his long, heavy coat, the only real protection he had from the wind, and wrapped it around her small frame. She stiffened at first. Then, slowly, her body relaxed. She leaned into his chest, drawn to his warmth, to the safety she hadn't known in days. "You're gonna be okay now," Elijah whispered. He carried her in his arms to the church bench 2 blocks away. It was a spot he knew well, sheltered by thick trees and high walls that blocked some of the wind. He sat down. Pulled her close. And waited. Not for help. He didn't expect help. But he knew she needed sleep, warmth, presence. He stayed awake all night, rocking her gently, whispering stories about stars and angels and how every child was born with a light inside them. At 3:12 a.m., Officer Lillian Hayes was driving her usual route when she saw them, an old man holding a child under the streetlight, their silhouettes outlined in frost. She stopped the car. "Got out." "Elijah," she called. He looked up slowly. "Lillian," he nodded. "Didn't expect to see you tonight." Officer Hayes knew Elijah. Everyone in the South Side did. He was the kind of man who would give away his last meal to someone hungrier. She had once found him returning a wallet with $600 still inside. Lillian approached. Her voice softened when she saw the girl. "She okay?" "She is now," Elijah said. "She yours?" He shook his head. "I just found her." Couldn't leave her. Lillian knelt beside them. Her name? Maya. The officer's face changed. Wait, Maya Lane. We've been looking for her for 2 days. She ran away from a foster home after her mother passed. Elijah looked down at the girl, now asleep against his chest. She was freezing. You may have saved her life, Lillian said, voice choked with emotion. Come on. Let's get you both somewhere warm. The hospital was a blur of bright lights, beeping machines, and frantic nurses. Elijah stayed beside Maya the whole time. Doctors said if she'd been out there another hour, hypothermia might have taken her. When she finally woke up, her voice was hoarse, but clear. Elijah? I'm right here, baby girl. She reached for his hand. And didn't let go. Word spread like fire. A nurse posted about it on Facebook. A local journalist picked it up. Soon, headlines flooded every corner of the internet. Homeless man gives his only coat to missing child and saves her life. People wept. Donated. Called Elijah a hero. A GoFundMe raised over $200,000. He was offered a room at a shelter, then a small apartment. A local carpenter offered him a job. A shoe company sent him boxes of brand new boots. But through it all, one thing never changed. Maya wouldn't let Elijah out of her sight. She refused new guardians. Screamed when social workers tried to place her elsewhere. He kept me warm, she said. He's my family now. CPS didn't know what to do. Elijah had no formal job, no family, no college degree. But he had something more powerful. A bond. So Elijah did what no one expected. He fought for her. He filled out forms. Took parenting classes. Sat through court hearings, evaluations, interviews. He showed up early, stayed late, answered every question with grace and patience. Lawyers offered help pro bono. The judge listened closely. 3 months later, in a courtroom heavy with silence, the ruling came. Maya Lane will be placed in the custody of Mr. Elijah Brooks. A gasp. Then, applause. Maya leapt into his arms. Elijah, she whispered, we're home now. Over the next few years, they built a life. They had little. But it was enough. Maya grew into a bright, curious girl with a love for painting and poetry. Elijah read her bedtime stories every night. They had traditions, Sunday pancakes, park picnics, warm tea in winter. She called him Dad for the first time on her 9th birthday. He cried for hours after she went to bed. One day, Maya brought home an assignment. Write about the moment that changed your life. She wrote. I was cold. So cold. I thought I'd disappear. But then someone gave me their coat. Not just any coat, his only coat. And with it, he gave me safety, love, and hope. That night, I wasn't the only one saved. Elijah saved me, but I also saved him. We saved each other. That's what love is. When Maya graduated high school, she was valedictorian. Standing in front of hundreds, she pointed to Elijah. That man, she said, gave me more than warmth on a cold night. He gave me a life. And I want the world to know, kindness isn't weakness. It's power. Years later, Maya became a social worker. She helped homeless kids, placed them in safe homes, and told every child she met. There's always someone out there who cares. Sometimes, they're the ones you least expect. And Elijah? He never wanted much. Just mornings with Maya. Laughter. A quiet chair by the window. And his coat, framed on the wall. Old. Torn. Faded. But legendary. One coat. One freezing night. One act of love. And 2 lives changed forever.